In a lot of ways, Django Unchained is Quentin Tarantino's most successful movie, and while fans have wanted a sequel, it's likely not the one Tarantino apparently had planned. Released in 2012, Django Unchained became Tarantino's biggest box office hit and was critically acclaimed, including racking up 5 Academy Award nominations. Even though the director isn't known for making sequels, a follow-up to Django Unchained makes a lot of sense. However, most fans who do want more from the story likely wouldn't expect it to go in a totally different route, but that's just what Tarantino had in mind for a potential sequel. He wanted to have the characters from this film, including the titular Django, Jamie Foxx, cross over with those from a famous Antonio Banderas project that feels out of left field, yet still the kind of thing Tarantino could get right. Django was meant to team with Zorro in a sequel. The two heroes would be partners out west. Interestingly, Quentin Tarantino wanted to pair Django up with Alejandro Muieta, the hero from 1998's The Mask of Zorro film starring Banderas as the title character, via Variety. The idea was that Django, who was now retired and living with his family, would come across a new threat and he'd cross paths with Alejandro, who was working to free indigenous people from slavery. The timeline of the movies align, since The Mask of Zorro takes place in 1850 and Django Unchained is from 1858. Though the films don't share a lot in terms of their tone, the characters as a team make sense since they are vigilantes who fight against powerful figureheads to help suppressed people in need. Seeing the two heroes come out of retirement when they're needed the most is exactly the kind of thing they'd do. The idea actually did come to fruition as a comic book adaptation was made. In 2013, a comic book crossover was penned by Tarantino and Matt Wagner which followed the adventures of Django and Alejandro side by side. The 7 issues were well received and a big screen adaptation felt like it could actually be on the horizon. Why the Django Zorro movie never happened? The budget would have been too high. Although Tarantino is known for sometimes speaking about outlandish ideas he has for movies, the Django Zorro crossover went a bit further than most. In fact, Tarantino spoke with comedian Jared Carmichael about writing the script and according to Carmichael, the screenplay work done was incredible. However, they ultimately realized that to bring their ideas to life, the budget would have been around $500 million. That would put this crossover film among the most expensive movies ever made. While Fox, Banderas, and Tarantino are box office successes, those kinds of budget numbers are reserved for the biggest franchises like Star Wars and the MCU. The movie would have to gross more than $1 billion to be somewhat of a success, which neither Django Unchained nor The Mask of Zorro pulled in combined. So while the film will likely never see the light of day, fans can appreciate the partnership through the 7 comic book issues.